3, 2, 1, roll 5.
An album that took me 10 years to appreciate was Filth Pig.
How did you talk to Al or not really?
Well, I just say what's up, and I said I pulled a Wayne's World. This video is brought to you by absolutely nothing.
But why?
Because this channel's not big enough or good enough for the rest of you sheep.
Oh, snap.
You just talked.
You'd rather watch clickbait, shills, or agenda-driven douchebags whose biases are showing. No thanks to you.
I mean, come on.
Seriously, the algorithm rewards stupid people.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
After all, you ain't gonna watch this video, but if you do, like, comment, and subscribe to make the algorithm not.
Fuck me!
And if you really like what you see here, support us on Patreon.
What's a band I would like that you would make fun of?
Basically, most of those metalcore bands.
Okay, well, name 3.
I wrestled a bear once. Alright.
They're okay. I don't listen to them now, but...
I need to find that back issue of Lost Anarchy where you did all the album reviews. Because
oh, yeah.
Dillinger Escape Plan was another one.
Got so much sound from your life.
Ew. Oh, yeah. And then, remember, I used to like, what's that one, 6 Feet Under?
Whitechapel. So my problem with metalcore, it's not even this genre of music. It's saying the term is really redundant.
Come on!
Metalcore. It looks very similar to another word.
Not really. It makes complete sense.
It's
metal and hardcore.
I know, but it's also redundant. Kind of like when you call someone a gay homosexual.
Well, so is New Wave.
Shut up and get to the point!
Historically.
Everyone hated New Wave.
Well, yeah.
All the punks hated New Wave when it came out.
Well, because you know what New Wave really was?
Sellout music.
Well, yeah. Basically, it's punk who went mainstream. Sellout, yes. My problem with new metalcore is not just...
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
What I just discovered the other day
What?
that I'm in shock for?
What?
I didn't know that Ministry was first in New Wave bands.
What?
Yeah, anything before Land of the Rape and Honey was basically like fucking Pet Shop Boys.
I know, that's so crazy that I couldn't believe it.
But why?
Because I love Al, and it's been quite a few years, but I wanted to listen to a bunch of interviews. And then one of their videos came up, and I was just thinking, that can't be them.
Well, you had the dippity-doo hair.
And you're just so much skinnier and younger. A lot of people in the comments were saying, oh yeah, I actually like when Ministry played New Wave, but I thought they were just trolling.
You gotta pay the troll toll. If you want to get into that boy's hole, you gotta pay the troll toll to get in.
But then I was listening to a lot of his interviews and how he sold out first.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, whoa, dude. Dude, okay.
Have you seen that video I did with Shadow Vessel about Ministry?
I don't think so.
I talk about the evolution of the band, how like...
Okay, I'm gonna watch it then. But, okay, what's funny is, you know when you first met me, I was in a band?
Yeah.
But there were so many other bands I tried starting or getting into. I would say at least 10 plus bands where it wouldn't work. They were either total assholes.
Or all trying to fuck you, or flakes.
Yeah, it just,
I mean,
or
did
they didn't believe in themselves, or the music sucked. There were just endless reasons why. But there was one project me and this guy were working on, and he was really good friends with Al.
Yeah.
And then so me, him, and Al were all on a chat in Facebook Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking to Al about that we were starting. So my friend asked Al, he says, what should we name our band, Al? And he was giving all these crazy names like Anal Cavity. He's so funny. He was so cool though.
Yeah, yeah. Al is
But I
pretty...
thought that was funny.
Al is pretty nice. I've only met him once.
Oh, really?
It's kind of a funny foreshadowing story, too. So, it was the last day of their last tour for the last Sucker album at the House of Blues in Hollywood when it was still there. And it was me, Madam Sunset, and then Scumlove snuck us in. Says to me, when you guys break up, I get your sloppy second. And then, 2 years later, me and Madam Sunset break up, and she goes for him right away. You know, that's why me and Scumlove have this frenemy joke now, because when they hooked up, I was like livid, because, you know, I was obviously sad.
Well, who cares about that? How did you meet Al?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So rewind again. So after Scumlove says that, I watch the band, Scumlove kicks me backstage, and I meet Al, and I met his wife, Angie, and Al was drinking a big giant goblet of wine.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
He seems like he'd be a cool person to hang out with.
That's what I heard. That's what Dino tells me.
Cause he just seems like he was just crazy drunk, kind of like me.
Well, no, he's calmed down over the years. He used to be really bad.
Yeah, I know.
But before we get to anything, now to our new sponsor. Oh wait, we don't have no sponsor because this channel's not big enough or good enough for people. We're not clickbaiting bitches. We don't bend the knee to either side. We're true anarchists, not anarcho-punk commies, not alt-right fucking douchebags. No, we're the real fucking deal. No thanks to you. And Ministry put out an album called Filthy. It came out right after Psalm 69, right? It took me a decade to appreciate.
Really? Why?
Like the best albums, heavy, heavier, heaviest, right?
Yeah.
So we're waiting like 4 years, and at this point we already have like mainstream industrial bands like 9 Inch Nails, and then you come out with this fucking slow, like sludgy metal sounding album, and you're like,
What the fuck is this? Whose ass didn't I kiss?
Then I found out what inspired that album. Al, Paul, and Gibby Hayes from Buttle Surfers were in a bordello in Austin for fucking 4 years on heroin. So if you're on heroin in a bordello for 4 years, you're gonna come out with an album like that. And what made me appreciate it is when I stayed in an S&M dungeon for 2 weeks going, I now understand that album. I'm seeing titties all day.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Dude, did you like From Beer to Eternity?
I stopped listening to Ministry after Dark Side of the Spoon. And even that album was like,
Whatever.
and they were always political, but then when they got too political, it just got redundant. I mean, they put out 3 albums.
I know. Listen, From Beer to Eternity is not that political.
Really?
Like it. Just try it.
Was that the one where they made fun of the Tea Party?
I don't know. I just know the album.
Like I said, the last decent album, in my opinion, when Ministry just basically just let Ministry be Ministry, was actually the last album that were signed to Warner Brothers Records. After that, they did things independently, and it shows.
Now they do a lot of stuff with Nuclear Blast, but I can't even listen to their newer stuff because it's really political. It's just...
Who cares?
Even Al knows it, because if you listen to Al's earlier interviews, he sounds really intellectual, philosophical, and just really interesting on what he has to say about the art of music. But then when you listen to him the last 10, 15 years, it just sounds like some old dude that watches way too much news and is just brainwashed by the news.
Well, duh.
You know what the worst part about it is? Okay, you know how we understand politics?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You understand how the government just wants people to argue, and there's no sides. That's just...
Well, it's just rich controlling the poor, and everyone's their fucking pawns, duh.
Yeah, and they try and... The liberal and Republican sides are just illusion. Al understands that also, because I've heard him say that in his interviews. He understands how the system works. Even though he understands that, he pretends like he does it in his music. It's almost like a strategy to where I think he thinks, oh, the sheep are gonna like listen to this music because they don't understand how things work, so he's gonna write music to cater to them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what Al did is he overdid it.
Yeah, I know.
A good example, right? Okay, during the Bush administration, Al did those 3 albums. Skinny Puppy only did 1. KMFDM also only did 1 album. They only did 3 songs about it.
Dude, even his conversations in interviews, he overdoes it.
I get it. You don't like the right, but the left sucks too.
But the worst part of it is he understands politics like us. He just thinks that that's how their music's gonna sell.
Well, duh.
Your shit becomes dated. Like, for example, my boys from HTH had a political song too called Assassination #1. But I'm done with this bullshit. Like, you're not gonna watch this. But if you do like what you see here, comment, like, dislike, share it if you want. I go into more detail, but I'm just trolling you anyway. I mean, after all, I gotta go on SubPals and YT Pals just to get 100, maybe 200 views on this fucking thing, and you all can suck it. Shout out to my patrons.
Necro Nicki, shadowvessel, The Fly Attractor, Count Lori Vaughn, Janitor J, Ryan Zacher, Gary Mossberg, and James Quinn.
Yay! Back to my regular weekly rants rather than covering a show that is grueling to watch. That time I was still writing for I was still writing for Rock City.
I felt like that when I met April Flash, they were all hanging out in Lemmy's dressing room backstage, and I met all three of them. I was just thinking hi, and they just said, how are you? But it was just kind of one of those moments where, wow, I met April, Flash, and Lemmy.
Yeah.
And they were all nice, but I mean, what are you gonna fucking say when you're literally in the grace of God?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, at that point, you know, when I met Al, like I said, I'm in the grace of God, right? And then also, like, you know, I was still working for Rock City, so I was just kind of like a low-level journalist for a local rag.